Hello, welcome to Two Beards Podcast. I am Levi, one of your hosts, and this is Nick, your other host, and this time I'm remembering to introduce us because we talked about that last week.
I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, continuity. Yeah. I'm really thirsty, so I'm just going to, hop right into it. We are drinking this... Hop right into it! He said it!
Okay, come on.
I'm fucking done. Do whatever you do. I don't know. Whatever. Just keep going.
What are we drinking, bud? So we're continuing with the whole fresh hop series that we got going on here, if you will. I don't know if you want to call it a series or not, but I just did. Today we're drinking Field to Ferment by Fremont, and we learned a pretty neat factoid about this beer about 4 seconds ago, and pretty neat. So I guess they are doing they're releasing it in stages, if you will, with different hop varieties. And so right now we're drinking the Centennial and, what is it? Simcoe?
Yeah.
So.
And then it'll move to Centennial and Amarillo, I think. Citra, and I don't know.
And then finally Mosaic.
They don't have that on the box, but good to know.
Yeah.
If you didn't know this, different varieties of hops are harvested at different times throughout the season. So this beer is what we assume going to be a very the same or very similar recipe, but just going to be changing throughout harvest. So if you're drinking this beer, maybe you have the same one that we do. Maybe you don't. If it's different, let us know in the comments. Yeah, it's one of our favorite. I think it might be my favorite fresh hop beer that I've had so far this season.
Yeah, I just had the Hop Profit again at Seven Seas. So we've since gone back to Seven Seas, and they've come out with another fresh hop. And I actually spoke with I forget her name there, but she was saying how when they brewed the Yakima Valley, they ran out of that so fast. They that wasn't planned. They just didn't realize they were going to sell that much of it.
Nice.
And so when they started to brew the Hop Profit, they brewed about 3 times as much, she said. So she's like, hopefully this will last a little bit longer.
Which I think is also better than the Yakima Valley.
Yes. So that's what, to my point, is that's better than the Yakima Valley. I agree. And I still think I like this better than the Hop Profit.
This is just a really tasty. I think what it is too is it's a very light beer that's really hop forward. They really taste the flavor of the hops, and it just kind of works well. It's got a nice combination of bitterness and citrus notes. And
when you think too even with it being hop forward, you still have some because I would say the same thing about the Yakima one, and what was. I'm trying to think of that one. I guess we had the Elysian too. We gave that a try.
We haven't reviewed that. Will happen. But last week's was the CSA.
Oh right, yeah. So the CSA too. I think that's hop forward, but it's just not very strong. Whereas this one is a lot stronger hop flavor, and I like how much more bitter that this one is. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, and kind of what I mean by hop forward is it really. On the forefront of the beer is very aromatic hop notes, really flavorful. Whereas yes, the Yakima Valley was a
hello.
Yeah, I know. Probably should plug my computer in or whatever. Yes, the Yakima Valley was very hoppy and very bitter and everything, but it was also just very earthy and didn't have the hop kind of flavors that I was really hoping for. So
yep, no, I'm right there with you. I agree. And so this was definitely I don't know. I didn't have high hopes for this one personally.
You don't love Fremont.
I don't love them. And unlike, what is it, Space Dust? It's either Space Dust or Dayglow. Unlike those where it's I like those beers more than I think I do. I think I'm pretty on par with Fremont where I'm I like them. I'm going to enjoy it, but I just don't love most of the beers that I've had from them.
Mm-hmm.
This one, on the other hand, is a great beer. It's really good.
Yeah, we've actually drank quite a bit of this already.
How many have you bought? Like 4 or 6 packs at this point?
I think so.
And it's only been like a couple weeks,
Yeah.
really. It's good. I enjoy
tasty.
it. It is really tasty. And like you said, too, I really enjoy that it's like pretty light and crisp.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's not as like, I'm kind of looking forward to the Lagunitas, and like I really want us to get.
it's out, dude.
I know. Maybe it's coming soon. I really also want us to get. I don't know if we're gonna have a chance. They're crazy busy and stuff is happening. But Georgetown, because I know like those beers are going to be like more on the juicier side, and we haven't had that yet.
No, I know,
and I'm really excited for like a more juicy fresh hop.
I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet, but I would like to see. Actually, I kind of talked about it a little bit with Elizabeth, but I haven't told Renee or you yet that if we can, it would be nice to take a trip up maybe on Sunday, just because like I foresee it either already being out of Fresh Hop Bodie or like soon.
Sunday's a good day for it,
right? Yeah. So. And she was saying too, like, she's like, you know, we haven't been up to Seattle in a long time. Or maybe that was you who even said that.
Yeah.
You guys just haven't been up to Seattle in a long time. And
I don't like going up to Seattle.
I don't either. I feel like this has been a consistent conversation.
We've talked about it a lot in the past like 2 weeks.
Honestly,
about
with
how much of a pain it is.
Yeah, with different people too. Like, it just keeps coming up where like, I think at this point, like Tacoma more than Seattle. I don't know.
So if you're not from here, Seattle's awesome. Love Seattle.
A lot to do.
Like being in Seattle, but going to Seattle and like parking and just traffic and how the city is laid out, it's just kind of all around a pain.
Yeah.
Especially when like Tacoma, which we're in Tacoma, which has like a lot better traffic, laid out a lot better, has great parking. Now that it's growing and everything, has like great restaurants and breweries and stuff. So it's pretty like hard to be like finding a reason to go to Seattle.
Honestly, yeah, no, that's a great way to put it. It's like it's honestly becoming harder to find a reason to go to Seattle. And even still, like I would definitely recommend anybody to go like take a trip to Seattle for a couple of days or a weekend. But like, living there, like, or
especially if you're not from here, right? Like if you're visiting Washington, go to Seattle.
Totally.
Seattle's awesome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, like, looking city. There is a lot of cool stuff there, but yeah, I mean, finding permanent residence, like, it's
big, yes.
Yeah, big, pretty much.
Very expensive and very a pain.
Honestly, I mean, it's crazy. It's pretty synonymous to living like in Chicago, which is a much larger city.
The nice thing about Chicago, though, like, and you know, maybe it's because I'm romanticize it because I only have visited there. I haven't lived like in the suburbs or anything.
Yeah.
But like each time I've gone to Chicago, I felt like it's so easy to get around.
No,
like I understand where things are at in Chicago very quickly. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like over there. I can get us there without even looking at my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, I'm like it's a fucking pain in the ass to explain to anyone where anything is and to go get there.
100%. One thing I've been finding really annoying, and it's kind of just like a personal pride thing too, is that even I'm on my way to work. So I've kind of got that down now. It's honestly taken a while to get used to going from where I'm living now to work and vice versa. Just because there's just some like weird turns. The fucking layout of this place is shit. I mean, again, Tacoma is a lot better than Seattle, but still.
Yeah.
I just still use my maps every day because it's such a shit show on what way is going to be better that it's just better to use maps. And I hate that because I love knowing where I'm going. And Chicago, you're not wrong in your assessment. Like, you don't, like, if you know where you're going, you don't need maps because it's very easy to get around. And even if you're not driving, public transportation is fantastic.
Yeah, the train.
Yeah, it's to me, it's really hard to get lost there because if you just keep walking in one direction or like take a couple turns, like you're going to get back on track.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just so much easier, and it's not as dense too because it's much more spread out.
Yeah, having a fire will do that to you.
Yeah, well, kind of wrecked the city and
Maybe
learned from it.
Maybe we should just burn Seattle down and then see what happens.
We should see what happens. I think it would be a good idea. I don't know. If the whole city burns down the next couple of weeks, I promise it wasn't us.
Nope.
I don't recall seeing fire.
Maybe in like 6 weeks. Then it could be us because like after fresh hop season, it's kind of like wind down.
You get a little bored, you know.
Now it's like, what is there? Don't need to go to Seattle for fresh hop beer.
No, whatever reason. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Maybe football. Just kidding. You know, that's sports.
You don't.
I don't do the sports ball.
I
mean, you do a little bit of the sports ball, but nothing in Seattle. So
right,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't really give much of shits about the Seahawks. Sorry, friends, but I'm a Bears fan, born and raised. It's not my fault.
Yeah, it's not your fault, but you know we feel bad for you at the same time.
As you should.
Yeah,
but you know, again, having that Midwest pride, like I can't just like change teams.
No,
it doesn't work that way.
Sometimes you wish it did.
Yeah, totally. But it's like. It's ingrained in my brain and blood, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't. So, it's fun. This beer's tasty, man. It's like right in the middle, IBU-wise. I mean, well, you know what's interesting to me?
Tell me what's interesting to you.
You know, I'm going to tell you. Here's what it is. I'm going to say it right now. You ready? I feel as though the middle of the scale isn't really the middle of the scale.
How many IBUs is this?
50.
It is actually quite a bit more bitter.
So hear me out.
Yeah.
Once you get past 40, 45 even, it starts to get pretty bitter. But like
90.
You can't really tell the difference between 90 and 70, you know?
Yeah.
But like you could tell a big difference between like 20 and 30. So I feel like there's a curve somewhere on the scale and I don't appreciate it. I feel like they should get to the bottom of this.
What's those kind of curves called where they're like flatten out? I'm not sure. Is it like this way? Yeah. From the video.
I don't know.
The audio podcast is loving me drawing with my hands.
They're like this, and they're like, oh yeah, I can
I see what you're saying when he's finger drawing.
No.
When he's fingering.
When he's fingering it. Yeah, I totally understand when he's fingering it. I don't know. I was thinking parabola. I thought you were going to go with the whole like whoop, but
that doesn't make any sense.
I realized what a parabola was. It's more of a U than the.
It's kind of like a diminishing returns, but I can't remember, like, you know, I haven't graphed anything since like high school, so
yep.
Yeah.
I was looking over in one of the conference rooms today or yesterday, and I was like, for fuck's sake, they got enough graphs in there?
Was it my conference room?
It was the far one yesterday.
The far one?
Was it the small? I don't know. No, that's the innovation room.
I was in the innovation.
Yeah. You had a fuck ton of graphs, bud. There was like 5 on the screen at one time.
Yeah. Statistics.
I guess. It just
I don't do any of the math. I just look at the math.
Like,
I see.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't have to make all those.
No.
It was a lot. There was a lot going on. And it's been annoying for me, if I'm being honest. I feel as though I have never needed to really talk to IS until this training started. And I'm like, fucking hell.
I'm like utilizing a lot of our company's resources right now. It's pretty great.
Pretty obnoxious. Yeah, I'm sure you're loving it. I would too. No. Rightfully so. But
no, I'm not loving it. Sitting in training for
3 hours.
3 hours a day, every day is it gets a bit much.
Yeah, man. It was like when I first got hired, I'm like, first like day or two, you're like, okay,
yeah, it's cool. I like this.
Yeah, and then afterwards, you're like,
if I could just take like 2 or 3 days and not do any training, just to like
freshen up, relax
my brain a little bit, then that'd be great. So yeah,
it's getting a little rough. It's going on a while. How much more you got left, really?
We have like about the same amount, maybe a little bit less left, but it's not consecutive. So now it's going to be broken up over the next like month. So
you're about halfway there, but it's going to take longer.
Yeah.
Got it. Makes sense.
So we're past like the really like dense like portion of it. So it's cool.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's really nice for the podcast too. They really enjoy like, you know, training work stuff. So
I think people do. I think sometimes some people do.
They like resonate with it. Would you, without washing these glasses, drink a beer out of them? Like just empty the hops out? For those on the audio, we have glasses with some oldie hops.
So I'm going to tell you right now is I don't think you'd notice a difference, to be honest, sadly.
I don't know, dude. It's pretty...
Is it pretty potent?
It is pretty potent.
Yeah, but so and that's the thing. I mean, I don't know, though. Like, if you poured this in there, I don't know if you'd really notice.
I don't know.
What I want to do is just pour a beer over these bad boys and, like, have a filter so you don't get any of the shit, and then see if that makes a difference. That's what I want to try.
Probably take out the lights, though, first.
You don't think it had a cool effect? Or
You might.
Yeah. I don't know. Just an idea.
What if you just, like, filled it up with water?
Well, I think if you tried to start filling it up with water, the hops would go.
No. I mean, like, if you emptied the hops out and you had a glass of water.
Okay, so we do one with water, one with beer?
Yeah.
I would try that.
Really probably not going to be good at all. But
probably not, but I would be curious to see how much of an effect. That would be good. It would be nice to have like a control with water and then like have a beer as well. Because I'd be curious to see how much it taints the water just having them in there for a week or two.
Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we won't. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
One of the things we've talked about doing, we have a couple ideas floating out there.
Yeah, we do.
Talking about doing an Oktoberfest beer with pumpkin carving.
Yes.
It's probably something pumpkin-y. I hate pumpkin, so we get to see more of Levi's reactions.
Not even the pie?
No.
Not even the bread?
No.
Not even the muffin?
Nope.
Not even the...
Nope. So that's one. Another one we've talked about doing is a wine cast.
Yes. Actually, I'm very excited for that.
Fine dining wine cast. Well, no dining, but like...
It'd be a classy podcast.
Classy.
Of course.
And then third one, bringing the girlfriends back on for, hot girl summer, end of summer, not summer anymore. White Claw, hard seltzer, truly bullshit.
Yeah. You forgot one, actually.
Is there another idea that I...
Yep. Cereal.
Yeah, that one's like a surprise, though.
Friend else, say no more. See, I thought that, but then I'm like, there's no surprises on this podcast.
No. But it's just like a crazy idea that's one day going to happen. But
That's fair.
It's going to be a really stupid podcast.
You know what? Whatever, though. I'm not even worried about it. It's going to be fun. So we can stop talking about it. Yeah.
So if you want to see one of those, let us know.
Yeah, I need the three. So we got the wine, the classy wine cast, the hot girl, and hot girl October. Hot.
Cold
Ugg.
Girl.
Cold October. Coldtober.
Let us know your names for that one.
Or
Pumpkin.
That was easy. Yeah. Carnival pumpkin, drinks pumpkin beer.
Gourdcast. 2 beards and some gourds.
Need some work, but we'll figure it out. Hello? Yeah, so one of those three. Wine, pumpkin, or women. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whichever one you'd rather see. I don't know. I mean, we might end up doing them all. Might end up only doing one. Might end up doing 2. But
we'll probably end up doing them all. Well,
maybe it depends.
The one thing that's on the timeline is the pumpkin one. So
right. So if we don't do that one like within the next couple of weeks, it's
kind of lost it.
Yeah. It was always next year. But yeah, those are fun. I would honestly be really excited for the wine one personally. Because I think it would be a combination of really fucking stupid and funny. And then also, like, it's a very different thing that we haven't done.
I also want to do, like a random cheap wine. And then I also want to do, like, a pretty nice wine.
Pretty nice wine?
Yeah.
Not a nice wine?
No, because, like, it's just going to, like, nice wine's going to be lost on us.
Well, yeah, and it'll be, so that's what I'm saying. So I'm going for price point here, too. Like, that's a big concern for me. So
wine doesn't get, like, that expensive.
Surprisingly, no. I like went to Bevmo and I was like, hey, where's the decent stuff? And they're like, oh, it's over here. It's only like $15, $20. I'm like, I feel like I'm buying boxed wine for paying $15 for a bottle. So, but
now I'm sure there are like really, like I'm sure it gets really expensive, right?
Obviously, but I would think that it's probably like a big curve, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of graphs, where it's like you just got cheap stuff and there's not a whole lot in the middle and it just goes whoop.
But I think it's like, especially if you're like a whiskey drinker like I am, you think like expensive wine, you're like $70, but like more like an expensive wine's like $35.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like a nice whiskey is like $50 to $70, and it's like now it's gonna last you a lot longer than your wine. But
honestly, like at this point, like you're going for like a medium whiskey is like 40 to 50, right? Well, I should say medium. I should say a good. A good whiskey is like 40 to 50.
I would say a good whiskey is like $35.
Okay.
Like a bullet is like $35.
Yeah. So I'm thinking too, because like once you start getting above 50, like because then you got like some that are even like still relatively affordable at like 100 or 80 bucks.
Absolutely, yeah.
But like at the same time, like that's still pretty expensive.
Yeah,
especially compared to like a wine at that same level. So, but yeah, I mean the point remains that like it's typically much more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So still want to go in on a pretty nice bottle of scotch.
We'll do a Scotch podcast one day.
Yeah. We will sit by a campfire and drink campfire.
Yes. Well, we've drank campfire on the podcast before, right?
Yeah, but
I assume it was on. We had a whiskey called it was something campfire.
Yeah, that was bourbon. I wanted to feel like it's a campfire in the PT sense.
So if you guys don't know, I have a really hard time sleeping. I'm like very insomniac person. One of the nights recently, like a week ago or two, couldn't sleep, got up and turned on this light right here. Right here, this one.
Oh, yep.
And just sat in here with a glass of scotch and read a book. And I was like, this is a nice night.
Who the fuck are you?
Don't know.
Were you only wearing this cardigan too?
Yeah, just the cardigan and like, no. I was wearing clothes.
Okay, because in my mind, you should...
I was sitting in that chair.
Yeah.
In that chair, like, I'm just thinking, like, just, like, bare-assing it on this chair, not, like, super comfortable.
Fair. But, so maybe, so like, some nice pajama pants?
Oh, I don't have those.
Well, you should get some.
Probably, but, you know. I don't have them.
Just saying.
Just not really my thing.
So I don't typically wear them to bed, but every now and then I'll be wearing them and I'll like be chilling in bed and I'll be like kind of more work to take them off, and at the same time like they're really comfy, so I'm just gonna leave them on.
We are getting to that season where like cool nights that would work, but when I sleep, I'm just so hot all the time.
I'm a volcano
like,
as well.
I can't do clothes.
I'm absolute lava. Yeah, I can't do it either.
Sometimes I wish I like could like because I agree. Like sometimes it's like comfy to be wearing something like that, but I'm like, it's comfortable, but I'm also on fire.
Yeah, so all I wear is a pair of MeUndies.
Not sponsored by them, but Nick welcomes it.
Not against it. That's all I'm saying. They just released they had them before, but you could only buy them in 3-packs. It was like 3 or nothing. And now they finally released them individually, like I figured they would, of different Star Wars prints. Not mad about it.
You didn't want the 3-pack?
No. Because then I'm like spending at one time like over $50 on underwear, and that seems ridiculous to me.
You just want to spend like $15.
Exactly.
Another $15.
Exactly.
Another $15.
It makes me feel better, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Don't know why, but it does.
Sure.
I'm sure there's like scientific rationale for it.
Probably.
And by scientific, I mean psychology.
Psychology is like relatively scientific.
Relatively.
It's relative.
But so, yeah, I could spend the exact same amount of money in a week, but I would feel so much better about it on more smaller payments rather than one big payment.
Even though it's all the same thing.
It's the exact same amount. Like just spending like something on a big payment, just like my soul just like hits the floor. I don't know. It's probably like a combination of like how I was raised, in the sense that like haven't always had all the money, and now that I'm like an adult and have like a good job, it's like I can afford things. But my mind is still in the sense that like I'm fucking 17 and
have no monies
at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Adulting, it's great.
It's pretty great. I had to do a lot of, when we were just talking about before the podcast, I had to do a lot of that lately with my car, just like taking a fat dump on my chest.
Yeah.
So gotta get that all figured out soon. This has been good.
This isn't good?
Nope, not what I said. This has been good.
Oh.
Yeah.
This has been good.
This has been good.
Yeah, I heard this hasn't. I don't know.
I didn't say either one.
I know, but that's what it was. A combination of me opening my beer.
I understand.
And like, you know, I'm deaf.
I understand. I don't know. Should we get a move on, or what?
Well, yeah. We should probably rate this beer, and
I'm just thinking like we could keep talking, but we're trying
to practice getting like more succinct on our content. Some days it's going to be longer than others because we have a lot to talk about, but like there's no reason to draw it on for no sense whatsoever. And
yeah, like today, like I feel like we've been having a good rhythm.
Yeah,
and we could keep talking,
but like
we don't need to.
No.
So,
and I just kind of want to talk about this beer, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It's a good beer,
and you guys are here for the beer, so makes sense. So, like we said, Fremont Field to ferment beer with Centennial and Simcoe. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah. Maybe.
Canned on September 13th to date this podcast. It's not September 13th.
Yep, Centennial and Simcoe.
Was it really canned this long ago? Yeah.
It was a month ago.
Yeah.
But again, like that's like, we talked about this too before. We're like, oh, you know, this, that, and the other. Like it's like 2 months old. Like it's not really fresh. And then like we talk about it, and we're like, it was canned 2 months ago. That's relatively still pretty fucking fresh compared to the vast majority of beer that people drink.
Yeah,
where it's been canned like 6 months or more ago.
Yeah, I just always think like fresh hop, like because it goes so quick. Well, especially here, like
yeah,
we were just talking. Or were we talking on the podcast? Yeah, on the podcast about 7 Seas going through Yakima Valley, like
today, like a little bit ago.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right. Yep.
I couldn't remember if it was like we've been talking a while before the podcast. So
yeah, I get you.
Couldn't remember if it was on a podcast or not, but yeah, they're like out already. It's pretty normal for like this season.
Right. Yeah. No, it is. It's crazy. And then I mean we're so close to the hop capital of America, if you will. And on top of that, like very close to a lot of breweries, a lot of smaller breweries that are doing like a lot of smaller batches. Yep. So you're getting fresher beer. So, but I mean, you go to like Bevmo or like back home, like Binny's. I mean, it's common that you'll see, like, if you actually look, like, your stuff is probably canned, like, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe even longer ago.
Well, like, there's been times where, like, I can find a fresh hop beer in, like, January.
Right, exactly, right. And it's like, I don't know about that.
Like, I'm going to get that, but
I have to remember it's not going to be as good.
But, I mean, Sierra Nevada's Celebration Ale. That was fresh hop, released in December or November, late November or whatever.
Oh yeah, that weird thing where they did the weird thing with the hops, and
yeah,
I don't even remember. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, we'll probably do it again this year, so we'll keep your eye out for that. What do you think? How does it look?
How does it look? It's pretty orangey, if you will.
Like a light orange.
It's a nice light orange.
Got some golden tones in there, depending on the light you look at it at.
You know what it looks like? What the fuck am I typing right now? So I had the cursor somewhere else, but your cursor was down there.
So
I thought that was mine. Yeah. So this looks like the epitome of a nice West Coast style IPA.
I'll give you that. I don't know if you can see this in yours, but we got some thingies in there, some floaties, a little unfiltered, a little bit. Switch it around. It's very fine.
Yeah,
don't move, but switch it around a little bit.
Agitate them.
Yeah.
Get angry, little guys. I need to grip this better. So full.
No, that's what I'm dealing with too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not crystal clear, that's for sure.
So it's not like hazy. But
No. Yeah.
No.
Head is pretty thin and crisp. Again, pretty common for like West Coast IPAs.
Yeah, and I appreciate it's like actually easy to pour too. It has a very natural pour to it, in the sense of like I didn't pour it out and like just heads overflowing, and then also I didn't have to like force the head.
Yeah,
it had a very nice body to it while pouring.
Agreed.
I don't know why it stuck out to me, but like sometimes you just pour beer and you're like, that poured perfectly, and I didn't even try, and like that's kind of how I felt.
No, I'll be honest with you. It's funny you do say that, because I really did think the same thing. Like I was very conscious of while I was pouring. I'm like, this is going really well.
Yeah.
I don't normally like observe this until it like goes bad. I'm like, oh well, fuck. But like this one just was exceptionally well, so that was nice.
Smell very citrusy, more citrusy than the taste.
So citrusy,
very
right?
citrusy.
Like holy crap! It's honestly blowing my mind.
It smells like an orange,
but I am not mad about it, because it has like that. It smells like an orange, but it's like it's an orange if it was like if a hop.
Ooh.
If the center of a hop was an orange.
Ooh, do the smell and drink.
The smink.
Yeah,
well, I'll smink it, dude.
Smink it up.
I'm excited for this smink.
Oh man, it gives it like this crisp, like feel to it. Like I'm just gonna keep doing that.
Oh god, I'm a little upset I haven't been doing that. Like I don't feel like I wasted my first beer, or like the previous 8 that I've had before this one. Not today. Maybe not today. But that's a beautiful way to drink this beer. Yeah, it's as if like a hop had the core, like in the core of a hop was an orange. That's that smell.
A little orange is growing inside of a hop. It's like a little tiny one.
Just a smidgen, yeah, like a tiny little cute little orange. Just but it has like that earthiness to it, you know?
Yeah.
And that, so it's nice. Any more on the smell that you're picking up there?
I'm just kind of stunned by the smink. So
that's what I'm writing. Smink. It's a good smink.
Maybe like a little. Maybe I could add a little crisp as a. Everything about this beer is crisp. So it's like got a crisp taste, crisp smell, crisp head. It's just a crisp.
It's very, very crisp. I agree. It's almost as if like, you know when you bite into the perfect apple where it has the perfect textured skin,
like where like it's hard enough to where like the juices almost spray out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Like as you bite into it, it's like.
But it's not overly sweet. It's like just enough to be like, wow, my mouth literally feels refreshed after biting into this.
Yeah.
This has obviously it doesn't taste like apples, but it has a similar feel as if you're biting into that orange.
To me, it's like the perfect September day in Washington where like you wake up at like 10 a.m. and it's Saturday. You don't go to work. And you go to the farmer's market, and it's like a 57 degrees outside, and it's like only a couple clouds, but it's really just like nice crispness to it. Like you got a comfy jacket on, like a light coat, and you got a coffee. You're like, man, this is how all a year should be. That's how I feel.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little aroused. That sounds like a good time. I feel like I really threw you off there.
A little bit.
Not that that's an uncommon thing for us to start saying.
What I was thrown off by was that you're writing all this down in taste, and it's just how I feel about the beer.
Well, hold on.
I think the taste gets me there. I'm just saying this is how I feel.
Okay, Levi. Okay.
This is an emotional reaction, not a category reaction.
Okay, Levi. Okay, Levi. Okay. Try this one on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That as you taste this, like you said,
as I smink it.
As you smink this, as one does, it gives you this feeling. It is both an actual feeling and a feeling.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Right. So it's a blurred line between.
That's why I was thrown off, because I was like, I don't know if this should go in the taste, but then I was like, but the taste is giving me that feel, and I don't know where else we don't really have maybe we should add an experience.
We probably should.
What is this? What's your experience of this beer?
I'm not going to do that because I already typed this all out.
No, absolutely not.
But from here on out, that's a good idea. Yeah. Just maybe right before we rate it, say, what's the experience here?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I'm going to get rid of feel for the record. I'm getting rid of feel on this episode because
that's fair.
It's just blurred, and I'll just continue with taste.
The other thing about the experience category is it allows us to go into the, how sometimes we drink a beer and we're like, man, I would really like this beer, except it's thick and it's 95 degrees out.
Exactly.
So we could talk about those factors.
I agree. That's a good idea because, and then that could also shed some light on our rating too, because we'll say all these things, but it's not pertinent enough to throw in there. But that could be a good spot for that. I agree. I like that a lot. So I think we covered the fact that it's crisp.
We did. So let's get into the other taste factors here.
Totally.
We talked about that it's very hop forward. The interesting thing is you get a lot of the herbally, a little citrus in there as well of the hops, but it is also very earthy.
It is earthy. It
especially as I'm on my second one, I'm getting a lot of those earthier tones.
So hear me out too. So it almost has this earthier body with a nice crisp floralness on top.
Yeah.
So it kind of blends together into this nice floral citrus, thicker earthy bodied beer. But paradoxically, if you will,
sure.
It remains. Thank you. It remains pretty light.
It does. Honestly, the body, the end body is a little syrupy, but I think because of the crispness, it doesn't have a lingering aftertaste, even though it does have a little bit of a syrupy texture.
It's the
stick with you.
The hoppy bite is what sticks.
Yeah,
and it's almost. So I think of it like this.
Dries out.
Exactly, and here's what I think of it as is a conductor playing music, and then just that last note though.
Yeah,
it just cuts. You have this nice drawn outness, and then it just cuts. It's nice. This beer really creates an experience.
It does.
I'm glad you thought of that. And we've talked about it, but we never said, "Hey, let's do this." So good on you.
Pretty much all I got was tasting.
That's all. That's it. I don't really. I know it's not much, but
no, there's not a lot of breaking down specific flavors, but I think it's just a well-rounded beer. It's very hop forward. If you don't like hops, please don't drink this beer.
Honestly, though,
it's very hoppy.
Yeah.
It's specifically the taste, not just a bitterness about it. But, but yeah,
I'm with you. So what are we feeling overall? Hold on. Let's both gather, and we'll same times it.
I'm still. We can do that. I'm still debating.
Me too.
Right now.
That's why I said hold on.
Yeah, let's have a few more drinks and let's just hang out a little bit.
Let's hang out a little bit.
Think about it.
Yeah. We'll keep talking.
You guys, if you haven't yet, open your second beer while you don't be drinking and driving. But you know.
Open your second beer, pussy. Schultze. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, we've been doing a lot of Letterkenny.
So I feel bad about it, and I'm like, wow, I must seem like a total fucking loser. But at the same time,
you are. But.
I am. But at the same time, if people don't know this about me, they should already. But if they don't, whatever show I'm into,
yeah,
it really takes over me. And the reason being is that like I won't like watch a show unless I'm that into it. As far as comedy goes.
Like
as far as comedies. Right. I mean, yeah.
You fucked up.
I don't think I know. We both haven't really watched that in a little while. And I mean it's still something that's in like
you've been quoted in-betweeners today.
It's still in everyday conversation.
But I don't even think we've really we've probably brought up Letterkenny before. But we keep referencing it. That's like all like the okay, Nick, okay. Okay, Nick, okay. Stuff like that.
I don't know that we have actually said the name of that show yet.
So, if you haven't seen Letterkenny and you're like, these guys have been acting weird the past couple weeks, we've actually been watching it for a while and have been quoting it for a long time. It's just kind of like, I don't know what it is about these past 2 weeks, but it's been very Letterkenny heavy.
Yeah, it has.
I mean,
like, I'm a little sorry.
Well, it's been weird too because like, our lives for the past like few months have been very Letterkenny heavy, just in general. But we kind of tone it down for the podcast, and then like these 2 weeks, it's been like
heavy.
So watch Letterkenny. You got to get to like episode 4 because the accents are pretty thick. They talk very fast, and they use a lot of like local verbiage. So it kind of takes some time to get to the point where you're like, this makes sense.
I think the trio is local verbiage, extremely fast, and alliteration.
Yes.
Like those 3 things combined, a lot of stuff, like your first couple episodes, really goes over your head.
It's a lot to take in, but once you kind of get it, it's one of the reasons why the show is so funny and so good.
Exactly.
Because it's all very intentional.
It is. Because, I mean, you watch your typical, comedy or sitcom, and I felt like I just had an epiphany on why they call it sitcom.
Sitcom?
Sitcom. Do you sit? You're sitting down and it's a comedy?
We're kind of a sitcom.
We're kind of a sitcom. I would call this a sitcom.
I like this name that I came up with.
I like it too. I'm definitely going to tag it everywhere now.
Yeah. Two Beards Podcast. Sitcom. Coming at you. Fucking Letterkenny.
Fucking Letterkenny.
Turn it down.
I know. I'll take it down about 15%.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. As I take it up 5.
Let's rate this beer.
All right, let's rate this beer. Hold on.
I'm just going to come out and do it, dude.
Hold on. You ready?
Yeah. No.
3, 2, 1.
4.25.
3.8. I was going to say.
I'm going high, dude.
I didn't realize.
I really like this beer.
If I'm being honest, I was going between 3.75 and 4, and I landed kind of in the middle somewhere there.
So 4.25 is in the middle of great and awesome for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to tell you which one it is.
That's very crafty of you.
I'm just going to leave it at a 4.25. You figure it out.
I can figure it out, bud.
Listen, I am very biased here because I love hops and it's fresh hop season. And so fresh hop beers are typically going to be rated higher for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay being biased because hops are delicious. They're just good. And if you disagree,
then you don't like beer.
You're wrong.
Because, as we talked about at Stinky Feet, yes, there are beers. Or no, it wasn't. It was the other one. What was the other one?
I don't even know what you're on about.
What was the brewery we went to in the brewery tour? The second one.
The second one.
We had the dessert there. Donovan's.
Dunnigan's. Donet's Brewery.
They have a beer that it has no hops in it, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. I can't remember the name, but yeah.
But yeah, so they have a beer that doesn't have hops in it, though. And so, and you even said, you're like, this is fucking dog shit. And most people, they're like, I'll try it. But even people who don't love hoppy beer, they're like, this is weird. That's because you just fucking need hops in your beer. It's one of the only fucking 4 ingredients you need.
Like, I'm because I don't think we tasted that beer.
No, we didn't there.
Yeah.
But you have had it before.
I've had it before. It's not bad. It's just not
good.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like hops, and so I'm biased. Obviously, if you don't like hops and you don't like hoppy beers, you know, I don't know why listen to me, because I know a lot about beer. Not really. I know a lot about tasting things. You know, this is better than all the other beers, so that's higher rating.
It's like we said, this has been your favorite beer, and mine too so far, of all the fresh hop beers we've had. And so I'm right there with you. I mean, 3.8, that's pretty high compared to what we've been giving out lately. I think I went a little bit lower, and I'm also a little bit biased.
Tell me how you would improve this beer.
Right, and so that's where my bias comes in, where I am more partial to the Bodhisattva, the Born Yesterday, where it has that fresh hop crispness.
That conversation where we're excited for the
juicy citrusy beers, and that's my preference. And so this is great. That's the only, and I wouldn't need a lot of that in this, because I love the bitterness of this. Like, it's fantastic, especially for a fresh hop. Personally, that's new to me. All the fresh hop beers I've had prior to this have been more on the juicier side. Mm-hmm. Being here has been my first experience with more bitter fresh hop beers. And it's kind of forced me to really dive into the notes a little bit more, like trying to dig past that bitterness and really figure out what's going on. But that being said, this is probably the most bitter fresh hop beer we've had yet. And it is my favorite of them all.
I think Yakima Valley was more bitter than this. I'm gonna stick to that fact.
I don't know if I agree with you, but we cannot prove that anymore. So
it's gone. But I stick to that. But I mean, the thing that like steps this up, and I think you would agree, up from Yakima Valley is it does have more of those dynamic citrus notes, even if you don't think it's more bitter or less. Like it does. They're both very hoppy. Both have a lot of earthy tones to it, and like
that one almost has more of like a sugary sweetness body. Not to say that it's overpowering, but it has more of that than this has going on.
It definitely is not as crisp.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's something that's been great. And you know, like I said at the beginning, I mean, this is really just kind of like an epitome of a nice, fresh hopped, like West Coast IPA. And I'm all about that. That's like my favorite kind of beer. So.
All right. Well, you know, if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, let us know what one of those episodes you want to see. Let us know if you drank this beer and if it's the same hops
or
types
different.
Or, you know, different. I don't know.
You can see on the bottom of the can.
You can. Or on the box. The box says...
The box!
The box says Centennial and Simcoe. Yeah. And if you haven't watched anything on YouTube, check it out. I was watching it on my TV yesterday, and I was like, wow, it's actually doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Bye. See you guys.